Hello, Africa. This is Business Africa, and I am Ignatius Annor. Our top stories. Manufacturing is the core to propel Africa's growth, says Africa's youngest billionaire. But how can government support players to withstand global competition? We speak exclusively to Tanzania's Mohammed Dewji. The African Continental Free Trade Area kicks off. We hear how Nigeria is planning a leading role in the $3.4 trillion market. And the Republic of Congo is poised to boost its digital economy. Imports of electronic products are now free of taxes on duties. Details right now. A continent full of opportunities for growth. One of the vehicles to propel development in Africa is a robust manufacturing sector, an industry widely viewed as a path to economic growth on the continent. Now, that's why the African Continental Free Trade Area was launched in 2018. Manufacturing holds potential as Africa navigates the path to recovery post-pandemic. Expert projects that the sector could hit $666.4 billion by 2030. That's over $200 billion more than it did in 2015. On Business Africa, we speak to President of METL Group to understand the opportunities within the industry in 2021 and beyond. Mohammed Dewji is Africa's youngest self-made billionaire. He joins us from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Mr. Dewji, it's a pleasure having you on the program, and thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm looking forward to our candid conversation.
So first, what is the significance of the manufacturing industry to the fortunes of a continent post the pandemic, and what are the opportunities to sport in this new year?
The continent is about 1.4 billion people. Majority are, less than 22, 23 years old. So there's a big pressure, in terms of unemployment, and that we need to concentrate and focus on manufacturing so that we can employ people. That's number one. But number two, God has blessed us. I mean, Africa, in terms of its size, the opportunities as far as agriculture, natural resources are concerned. Gone are those days where, Africa should be exporting raw cashews or gin cotton rather than the finished product. So we need to do value addition, and by doing value addition, you don't use as much as foreign currency that you would otherwise use, and also you would employ a lot of people. So I think manufacturing is the core of importance for the African continent.
I know that you are big on what you call impact investment, and with a growing young population vis-a-vis automation and then online platforms, how does impact investment deliver the badly needed jobs for young entrepreneurs on the continent?
When you talk about impact investment, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily doing business for loss, but you are actually having a human touch when you're making a decision on business, because you are on the way employing a lot of people. So when you talk about impact investment, you will see that many countries, whether it may be South Africa, whether it may be Mozambique, whether it may be Zambia or Tanzania, as a matter of fact, I mean, textiles has pretty much collapsed. Now, you look at, countries across Africa that produce cotton, huge amounts of cotton, as a continent. But then what we do is we just separate the seeds from the lint, and then we export. So there is no value. So what I do is I've invested in basically ginning, in spinning, in weaving, in processing, in mercerizing, in dyeing, in printing, in knitting, and in garmenting. So I have 4 textile mills, 3 in Tanzania, 1 in Mozambique, and basically I buy cotton, from the local farmers, and then I value add it. Instead of us importing, we export raw cotton to India, or to China, and then we bring in African clothing or African printed clothing or suiting material, for trousers, for uniforms for our kids from China and India.
Right, and that brings me to this. The Africa Trade Area has gone into implementation phase in January this year. What do you hope to see? What do you hope would be achieved in the medium term?
I look forward to the whole free trade agreement. It's very important. I'll give you a small example. You have a country that does not grow wheat, okay? And it imports wheat, okay, from the Baltics, and then it mills and it makes flour. And you have a country that basically have got big wheat farms. So now, there has to be a question of origin. I cannot take my wheat flour in Tanzania, where I'm just importing, which is foreign wheat, into flour and dump it into a country, let's say in Zambia, where there is a lot of wheat, where farmers will get hurt and affected. So basically, each and every country has to look at each and every particular product, whether they have capacity, of being able to, produce. We all know that there's countries in the world that are giving subsidies, and then, you are killing your economy by bringing in goods that would be dumped into your country, and then you will kill the industrialization, or you will kill agriculture.
And finally, you talked about the government of Tanzania being supportive as far as your milling industry is concerned. How critical are the supports of government for the manufacturing players within the continent in the face of global competition?
I think it is very, very important. I think if you look at Tanzania, you look at Kenya, you look at Rwanda, these guys are serious. Today Tanzania is investing $7 billion in a standard gauge railway. And we know rail is the cheapest mode of transport. Look at Tanzania's GDP per capita is about $1,100. We just made it to the middle income. Now, we don't want to end up, consumers spending money, that is very limited into, transport and logistics that is inefficient. So while industrialization is important, the government has to play its role by making sure that you have enough power, port logistics work well. But in Tanzania, I think we're getting very good support from President Magufuli. He is very ambitious and he wants to industrialize Tanzania. And, I'm glad to be in the right time, in the right place with his good policies. And countries like Rwanda, where, President Kagame is serious. These guys, they will bend backwards for investors. And there's good rule of law and there's confidence.
Mr. Mohammed Dewji, it's been a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello again. You're welcome back to the program. And I am Ignatius Annor. Trading under the African Continental Free Trade Area has kicked off, and Africa's largest economy is planning a leading role in this $3.4 trillion market. Nigeria took a while to sign up to the agreement, but when it finally did, the most populous nation on the continent says it cannot afford to be left out. Business Africa talks to a local economic strategist on the West African nation's preparedness to harness dividend of this free trade zone in the following report.
Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, plans to take the lead as the continent begins to trade under the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. Economic strategist Professor Ken Ife believes that the country has laid the groundwork to do so.
That Nigeria is more ready for this project than any other African country, to be honest with you, because we have laid a very solid foundation for this day to come. One is that we're the biggest economy in Africa, we're the biggest population, we are the biggest market, and two, we are a very, very resource-rich country. And what that means is that we are yet to tap our natural and mineral resources.
Nigeria hesitated to ratify the accord. Then it was concerned that its markets risked being flooded with goods from China or Europe via African neighbors.
They have now decided to do was to implement the protocol. We have transit protocols in ECOWAS regulating all this. And under the AFCTA is even tighter because there are now going to be punitive measures if you violate.
Ife says Nigeria can also bank on its free trade zone to attract global ventures to the continent.
They are still the 8th largest producer of oil in the world, and certainly the biggest in Africa. But that notwithstanding, there are 90 million MSMEs in Africa. 45 million of those are from Nigeria. Now that means that if Nigeria could have 50% of the MSMEs in Africa, even though our population is only 18%, and our GDP is about 18% of the whole of Africa GDP, it does tell you that entrepreneurship is a latent cooperative advantage for Nigeria.
Nigeria has begun a nationwide campaign to drive up enthusiasm among various stakeholders, naming January AFCFTA Awareness and Sensitization Month.
And in the Republic of Congo, some relief for those who rely on electronic products to run their businesses. Importation of computer equipment will now be free of taxes and duties. This means a local student can purchase laptops at lower prices, for example. It's part of a move that Brazzaville hopes will boost its digital economy. But importers say all stocks which were previously taxed will first have to run out before this new law can impact on new imports.
The importation of computer items in the Republic of Congo is now free of all taxes and duties. The measure, which is set to last 2 years, is included in the 2021 finance law, which takes effect this January. The aim of the Congolese legislator is clear: to give a boost to the digital economy. Nevertheless, users and business operators are bracing up for the change as prices are expected to fall. This is a very good news for our country, with the exorbitant prices of all electronic products. For example, I can get Core i7 for 600,000 CFA, and that's for a new computer. If I don't pay taxes, that's a bonus, because buying machines or electronic product drives us to train others in several fields. But for several importers, there's no reason to get carried away too quickly. Old stocks which are subject to old laws must first be emptied. To be quite honest with you, I think it's a bit difficult at the moment, as we're stocking up for 3 months. Customers won't feel the difference at the moment, but within 2 months they will see the change, and therefore prices will be lower on everything, from laptops to tablets and smartphones especially. While the law on the importation of electronic items into the Republic of Congo is an exception in sub-Saharan Africa, the lack of basic infrastructure, such as electricity, is still a problem in the country, where only 9.7% of the population has access to the internet.
That's it for Business Africa. You can be a part of the program via our various social media handles. Follow me on Twitter at Ignatius Annor. Also, head over to Africanews.com for the entire program and more. I thank you for watching, and goodbye.